Hey everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker. I want to give you guys an idea of what has been going on in the market, in the GTA market, more specifically, my hood, Pickering. Okay, so basically we're recording this now mid-September 2021, and it has been an insane year. If somebody told me when COVID started, this is what the year is going to look like, where our inventory levels were going to be, I wouldn't have believed you. This is just my experience of what's kind of happened over the last like 9 months-ish, but we are going to do a full out video and we are going to basically have it for you guys in about a month or so from now. So what's been happening so far is that we've really seen tighter inventory levels across the board, okay? So there's not that much inventory and buyer demand really remains very strong. Two of the most recent examples I can tell you about. The first one, we had this amazing bungalow property that came up in Northeast Pickering. It's such a gorgeous property, and I just want to kind of show you guys how crazy the market has been. So this property is a bungalow. It's sitting on almost an acre of property. It's 2,200 square feet with a finished basement. Just such a really nice property. So this property was actually purchased 1 year ago. Just 1 year ago, it was purchased for just over $1.1 million, okay? So we're gonna actually set this property up and hit the market again. And my strategy was, and I know a lot of people don't like this, which is listing lower, but that's kind of the way that the market is working in order for us to secure the best price for our sellers. So we gotta kind of go with the trend that's working right now. We ended up listing this property for $1,295,000. And right away, we had an enormous amount of interest in the property. It got so much interest that we actually had to go back, and we had to do this early in the year with one of our other properties, which is go back, cancel the appointments that we have in the system because we can't even allow 30-minute showings because we have so much interest in this, and cut everybody down to 15-minute showings. Long story short, over a course of 5 days, we ended up with about 122 showings on the property, and we ended up with 17 offers on offer day. Prior to this, even a day or two on the market, we did receive, I believe it was 2 offers prior to the offer presentation day, which were pretty good offers. But after discussing with my clients about the offers that were received, we felt that it was best to kind of hold off and see what would happen on the offer presentation day. It's always a risk when you kind of do this, because most of the time when you go into this situation, you have an idea of what you might take as an early offer instead of waiting for your offer presentation date. And when you hit these numbers where you thought that, hey, this is a number I would take, but you got all of this other interest that's still coming through the door and your phone's ringing like crazy, you got to kind of balance it out. But this time it felt right to basically say, hey, we're going to wait off on this. We actually went back, changed the notes, said we're not going to look at any kind of preemptive offers and wait out to the offer presentation date. Leading into the offer presentation date, as I mentioned, we had 17 offers on this. It actually took us like close to 6 or 7 hours to kind of sort through everything. I want to remind you guys again, okay? So this property was purchased for $1.1 million a year ago, okay? A year ago, this property was purchased for $1.1 million. My clients did spend money on the property, plus they have closing costs on the property, plus they have commission fees to pay, plus they have lawyer fees to pay on all this stuff. So in my best estimate, I would say somewhere around $200,000, I would say, in expenses with everything. So call it $1.3 million, all expenses in on this. It ended up turning out that we ended up selling this property for $1.725 million. So if you just look at it and not even look at all the costs in between and just look at how much the market actually went up on this property, we went from a 1.1 property, and in 12 months, we're basically sitting at a $1.7 million property. I gotta throw a little caveat in this, okay? So like, because of COVID, people have been wanting a little bit more space. They want to be outside of subdivisions and stuff like that. So this property really got that kind of help because it's sitting really almost as a standalone property on an acre of land. But the other thing is that the seller of the property actually did a lot of cool things to the property, completely gutted out the kitchen, added a lot of cool things into it, like a power generator. They just did a ton of work on the property too. But it really just goes to show you how hot the market has actually been. It was funny because during the sale of this property, I actually ran into 2 or 3 people that were looking at the property last year because the property was on and off the market 4 or 5 times, I believe, and it didn't sell, and it kept coming on and off the market. And those same 2 or 3 people actually came back and looked at it and said, hey, we feel like we kind of missed out on this property. And they were still kind of, thinking about moving forward with it this year, but when they kind of started to realize where the pricing was going, they didn't want to step up to that point. So they really felt like they missed out on this property. Similar experience with even a semi-detached that we sold in Pickering. Just this house was gorgeous. Like we go in and stage all of our properties, but there's nothing I could have helped these guys with, like except they removed some of their personal pictures and we added a couple of pieces of artwork. There's nothing we could have done for these people. The house looked so nice. But again, this was a new build property. It was purchased with a new builder, a good builder, for I would say sub 700, okay? They bought it pre-construction, they waited, they put in so much time and effort into this property, and I know they have a huge sentimental attachment to the property as well, but they found another house that they really like and they wanted to move forward with it. But long story short, this house also stayed on the market for about 5 or 6 days. We had the same amount of offers that came in, 17 offers on this property, and we listed this property for $950,000. This is a semi-detached in Pickering, okay? And we ended up selling this just for over $1.2 million. So any of the properties that have been coming to the market that show really well and that are marketed correctly, they are getting a ton of traction. And in my opinion, they are actually setting the new market normal for that area, the ones that we're selling out there. I have to say though, and we knew this was kind of going to happen at the end of August and into the beginning of September right now, the market has cooled down. Anyone that would have listened to me previously, I've been telling them that this is what I think is going to happen. The main reason for that is, I believe, is because kids have been on summer holidays. Most of them are returning back to school. And that also means that parents have to get back into a normal schedule as well. So I notice this usually every year. Towards the end of August, people want to spend more time with their kids, go on that last long weekend road trip or whatever they're going to do, and then they got to take some time to kind of settle into a new routine. So we do see this little bit of a lag. So being in mid-September right now, I would say maybe in a week or 2 weeks, I think that we're going to probably start to see things pick back up again. But we're still sitting at a very low inventory level. I would say we're around 8,500 listings available for sale throughout the Toronto Real Estate Board. Durham, we were sitting just under 700 listings available for sale throughout all of Durham. So again, super low inventory. And I think that we're going to have an amazing fall market as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions about what we did with these properties, I'd be more than happy to go through it. Also, we are coming into a very strong fall market. I really do believe that's going to happen. What I want to know from you guys, I want to know your comments. What do you guys think is going to happen in the fall market? Like this, share this with your friends. Until next time, remember one thing, get Cabani, get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.